Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is Learn English with Stories, where we dive deep into the most fascinating stories from history. We break down complex historical events into engaging, easy-to-understand narratives that bring the past to life. Let's start. In 331 BCE, Alexander the Great founded Alexandria in Egypt. After his death, his general Ptolemy I took control of Egypt. Ptolemy wanted to make Alexandria the intellectual capital of the world. He envisioned a place where scholars could gather, study, and preserve all human knowledge. Around 300 BCE, Ptolemy I established the Library of Alexandria. His son, Ptolemy II, expanded it into the ancient world's largest repository of knowledge. The library was part of a larger complex called the Mausoleum, a temple dedicated to the Muses. It became a magnet for scholars from across the Mediterranean. The Ptolemies were obsessed with collecting texts. Ships arriving in Alexandria's harbor were searched for books. Any found were confiscated, copied, and the copies returned to the owners. The originals stayed in the library. Agents traveled the known world, buying manuscripts. The collection grew to hundreds of thousands of scrolls. The library held incredible treasures: original works by Aristotle, Plato, and Sophocles, advanced mathematics from Euclid, who worked there, astronomical calculations by Aristarchus, who proposed the sun was the center of the solar system 1,800 years before Copernicus, medical texts, maps, and philosophical treatises from dozens of cultures. The greatest minds of antiquity studied at Alexandria. Eratosthenes calculated Earth's circumference with remarkable accuracy. Archimedes developed groundbreaking mathematics and engineering. Galen advanced medical knowledge. Hero of Alexandria invented the first steam engine. The library was humanity's first true research institute. Here's the truth. The Library of Alexandria didn't burn down in one catastrophic fire. This is a popular myth. Instead, the library declined and was destroyed gradually over several centuries through multiple incidents. The complete story involves Roman generals, religious conflicts, and neglect. The first major damage occurred in 48 BCE during Julius Caesar's civil war. Caesar was besieged in Alexandria and set fire to enemy ships in the harbor. The fire spread to nearby warehouses storing scrolls intended for the library. Ancient sources disagree on whether the main library burned, but significant damage occurred. Despite Caesar's fire, the library continued operating for centuries. Roman emperors, including Augustus and Claudius, added to its collection. Scholars continued working there. The library remained a center of learning, though perhaps diminished from its glory days. But more troubles were coming. In 272 CE, Emperor Aurelian reconquered Alexandria from the rebel Palmyrene Empire. During the battle, much of the Bruchian quarter, where the main library stood, was destroyed. This likely damaged or destroyed significant portions of the library's buildings and collections. The institution never fully recovered. By the 4th century CE, Christianity became Rome's official religion. Pagan temples and institutions faced hostility. The Library of Alexandria, associated with pagan philosophy and science, became a target. In 391 CE, Christian mobs destroyed the Serapeum, a temple housing a daughter library of Alexandria. The violence culminated in 415 CE with the brutal murder of Hypatia, Alexandria's most famous scholar and mathematician. A Christian mob dragged her from her chariot, stripped her, and killed her with tiles. Her death symbolized the end of Alexandria's classical learning tradition. Scholars fled to safer places. A popular legend claims Muslim armies burned the library in 642 CE using scrolls to heat bathhouses. However, most historians reject this story. It appears in sources written 600 years after the event. By 642 CE, the library had likely already ceased to exist as a functioning institution. The truth is less dramatic but more tragic. The library died from neglect, declining funding, religious intolerance, and changing priorities. As Rome fell into chaos, supporting a massive library in distant Egypt became impossible. Scrolls decayed, buildings crumbled, scholars left. Knowledge was gradually lost. We'll never know exactly what knowledge vanished with the library: lost plays by ancient dramatists, scientific texts that might have accelerated human progress by centuries, detailed histories of ancient civilizations, maps of the known world, philosophical works that challenged religious dogma. The loss is incalculable. The library's destruction contributed to the Dark Ages in Europe. While Islamic scholars preserved some ancient knowledge, much was gone forever. Europe wouldn't see a comparable center of learning for nearly 1,000 years. The Renaissance came when Byzantine scholars brought Greek texts west after Constantinople's fall in 1453. The Library of Alexandria's fate teaches us crucial lessons. Knowledge is fragile. Libraries and educational institutions need consistent support and protection. Religious and political extremism threatens learning. When societies prioritize ideology over inquiry, everyone loses. One generation's neglect can erase centuries of progress. We face similar threats today. Book banning and curriculum restrictions limit education. Budget cuts close libraries. Digital information seems permanent but can vanish instantly. Climate change threatens physical archives. Political polarization attacks academic freedom. History shows us what happens when we don't protect knowledge. In 2002, Egypt opened the Biblioteca Alexandrina near the original library site. This modern library honors the ancient institution's legacy. It houses millions of books, digitizes ancient texts, and serves as a cultural center. It reminds us that the pursuit of knowledge is humanity's greatest endeavor. Imagine if the Library of Alexandria had survived. We might have entered the scientific age centuries earlier. Ancient medical knowledge could have prevented plagues. Advanced mathematics might have accelerated technology. We'd have unbroken records of ancient civilizations. Human progress might have been dramatically different. The Library of Alexandria represents humanity's greatest intellectual achievement and our greatest cultural loss. It wasn't destroyed in one dramatic fire, but through neglect, war, and intolerance. Its story reminds us that civilization is fragile and knowledge must be actively preserved. Every generation must choose: will we be builders or destroyers of knowledge? Thanks for watching. If you found this fascinating, smash that like button and subscribe for more historical deep dives. What other ancient mysteries should we explore? Drop your suggestions in the comments. Hit the bell for notifications. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning.